And so Kilmichael will show 113 for you. Snap a picture if you know somebody who lives in Kilmichael, Huntsville, Stewart, Tom Nolan. This tornado warning moving towards some of those locations. Not technically with what the circulation is in the viewing area yet, so we're not going to linger on it. Here's the deal. If this goes the way it could this afternoon, we're not going to have a lot of time to sit on these. It's going to be take a picture, send it, take a picture, send it. I'm hoping it doesn't go that way, but that's one of the concerns that we do have with this setup today, that there might not be a whole lot of time to just sit and get in tight and track these like we sometimes do just because there's too many to track. Looking north of Van Vliet, still do have our area of circulation. This is Pontotoc County. This is Lee County. This is Chickasaw County. That is Monroe County. This area of circulation near Van Vliet, near County Road 413, moving toward Mississippi Highway 41. This is Natchez Trace Parkway, moving toward Verona and Shannon. Moving only 40 miles per hour. I can definitely tell that this is a slower speed than some of the other circulations that we have had. And it does look just a little bit weaker as of the latest scan. Hopefully that, well, now hold on. Let's just double check that. See, now that might be finally a tornado debris signature that we can formally confirm. Yes, let's double check. There, yes. We have had a TDS there, the tornado debris signature. Let's go ahead and circle it for you. Right there near County Road 118. This was a couple minutes ago. Now let's advance it to where it is now. Yes. So unfortunately, this has now produced a confirmed tornado. As you can see at the top of your screen, confirmed tornado touchdown near County Road 413 in Chickasaw County, moving toward Mississippi Highway 41. This is the one that has prompted the sirens that you hear in the background here. A tornado warning for Chickasaw, Monroe, Lee, Pontotoc, and Itawamba counties. And now the next thing to do is see how high it's lofted, because depending on how high that debris is lofted, we can roughly guesstimate how strong the tornado is, because the higher it's thrown up, the stronger the tornado is. These are rough numbers, but it's just something that we'll be keeping in mind, and we'll be using GR3 or GR2 on number 3 to double check the height of the TDS when we can figure that out.
John, do you want to work on that? Oh, no, you can.
So we'll go ahead and up and down the mics, if we could, please. So, again, defining what we're looking at and how things have changed. We have Doppler radar indicated rotation that now has developed the tornado, and now we can confirm that debris has been detected on this storm. Unfortunately, that area of debris indicates that something's been hit, and other things could be hit in advance of this as well. Let's go back to the wind mode here. I will say it does look like our wind mode is continuing to weaken. So wind mode is ahead of where the debris was showing it a moment ago. So let's go ahead and give us a new location now just north of County Road 413 in Chickasaw County. A very messy return here on this. Yeah, debris is not caught up. So wind is running in fastest today. So this is moving toward Lee County Road 54, Mississippi Highway 41. A confirmed tornado on the ground as of the last 3 minutes. So we assume that is still possibly the case at this moment here. Let's reset for a moment. It is now just about 12:39 p.m. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon alongside our meteorologists Gabe Maynor and John DeLusick as we are tracking a tornado warning for a confirmed tornado touchdown that's about to move into the southwest portion of Lee County. It is probably going to cross very close to the southeast corner of Pontotoc County, and if it continues at this rate, could eventually move toward the Tupelo area by about 1 o'clock. Again, that's assuming about the 40-ish miles per hour that it's going right now. So as we look over here, I'm going to pull up a different radar for a moment. And so looking at that, we can see the debris height. Are we feeling that's accurate?
It was around 15,000. I did a couple cross sections on it.
Okay, so potentially as high as around 10,000 or so, maybe a little higher than that on the debris height. So that's not good. That means it could be stronger than, well, I mean, going back to that graphic we showed you a moment ago there, if it gets up to 10,000 feet, now we're talking about a strong tornado. So that's something we're waiting to confirm to see how high that debris has been lofted. But not a good sign. Don't want to see that. Looking at this, so what we have happening though, one thing that is working in our favor is this other big storm here has kind of merged with this, and it's just kind of made what was a clearly defined storm a bit of a mess. And you might be able to see that a little better here. Clearly defined area of rotation, likely caused some damage potentially in the Houston area. It's kind of on the back side of this, and you have all this rainfall in front here that's trying to cut off the unstable air. It is an incredibly impressive thing to imagine that that still had enough inflow to produce a tornado that far. I mean, just being that choked off by the rain in advance. And unfortunately now, this is where things start to get interesting. Okay, so this is where in all of our projections, and we were looking at it and we'd stop the clock and we'd say, well, look at this, right? And we'd go 1, 2, I'm not gonna do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I didn't get that 6 there, but you get my point. My point is this. Our lead time on these is going to shrink because the quantity of them is increasing. So we're reaching that peak time where we're just going to have tons and tons of these storms to watch. John, we're going to give up on people's storm reports at this point. We're going to have to make sure on 3 that you're looking at different ones. You're finding the different storms that are ratcheting up. Same thing, okay. Gabe. Right. And your guys' the main job here that we're going for here is we're going to want to make sure that we're not going to miss any of these storms. So that means we're not going to have great pictures. Sure. We're not going to have some of those other things because we're going to make sure we do not miss any of these storms.
South right here.
Okay, and I'll pull
South 45.
Is that on weather 3?
That's on weather 3 right now. That's 45 looking north.
So it's 45.
278 and 45.
278 and 45. I mean, obviously, a lot of wind, a lot of rainfall there as that main storm is coming into the area. We need to be in our tornado safe place if you do live in the Verona and the Tupelo area where that is located as that tornado warned thunderstorm with a confirmed tornado moving toward you. In saying that, I'm going to give you 2 quick tracks here, and I'm just going to take this. My times are going to be a little off on these tracks, and I'm going to make them go a little too fast. And I'm going to go 45, which might be a little too fast because I'm not going to have as much time to get to you. And I'm going to track a bunch of things here. This storm north of West Point. West Point will show 1244. Probably not strong enough to produce a tornado there, but I might not have a lot of time to get back to you. Strong community 1251, Aberdeen 104. We're watching that area of circulation for you and the potential that at some point that could produce a tornado. The other one near Phoebe and Abbott, Muldren, and Aberdeen. Again, another chance there if that were to strengthen. We're looking at that for you. Hopewell School 1247, Muldren 104, Prairie 106, Gibson 108, Aberdeen 115. That's a different circulation. Then, yet another circulation that we're watching near McCondy. And again, I'm not wanting to go all crazy on you here and track everything that moves. At the same time, I believe everybody deserves a little bit of a heads up on this. So again, this is a storm that's now south and really east of Houston. We're tracking it, no tornado warning on this. But for folks there, as you can see, in Wren, eventually perhaps for you, 104, Treblock, 1244 there. And then that one is starting to get more organized as well and could potentially produce a tornado. We're watching that potential south of Okolona. North of Okolona, we're watching our what has been confirmed tornado. I would put it near Balls Bridge Road, I believe, south of Shannon Road. Some folks out here had some tornado damage last month. I remember that road there. So moving through there, I don't think it's a tornado at this instant unless I am sorely mistaken on it. I do not see the same tornado debris. I do not think I can confirm tornado on this at this moment. It is trying very hard. I'll circle the area of concern. I'm going to give you a storm track. I'm going to have to check a couple other storms. And then I know that this is moving into a highly populated area, so we're going to spend a little more time on this one again, unless it completely falls apart. Again, Verona, we're looking at 1254 for you. We're looking at Tupelo at 1 o'clock. Again, that is assuming, let's make sure we've got the right speed on this. 45 miles per hour, yes. South part of, you can see that's where that Tupelo time's coming from, that little yellow circle you see there. Morville 107 if it holds together. Current time is 1244, just about 1245. You're watching WTVA 9 News as we have a developing tornado outbreak on our hands here in North Mississippi, potentially. We've briefly had a tornado produced there in Chickasaw County. Not sure for sure that has a tornado on the ground at this instant. As we look at our other thunderstorms here, we're just going to have to go over to the wind mode and try to pick some things out. Yalobusha County up here. Again, the designation from the National Weather Service, rotation detected on this. Couple spots along this line of concern. I'm going to track the whole arcing area there ahead at, again, 40 to 45 miles per hour. Actually, I have that 55. Let's drop it 45. And a reminder that if your signal goes out, we do broadcast live, likely on both KZ 103 right now and a 95.1 The Farm. I appreciate our radio partners there. If for whatever reason our signal goes out like it did before, we're there, as well as, of course, Facebook Live and Instagram, all those, we're all the places. We're also on the app, both news and weather app. So make sure you have these downloaded. There will be power disruptions from this. So let's move on from this storm here. No, I do not necessarily have confirmation of tornado on that, so we have to kind of stick with some other things that we're more concerned with. I do have a tornado warning approaching the Vaden area. This will be moving southern, including Choctaw County and Montgomery County. A few different areas of circulation on this here. Not very clear cut on the wind mode, so I'm just going to stick with where the precipitation mode has it. We're going to keep it about 45 miles per hour. And I would argue, Gabe, that we set like a rotating timer on your watch for 20 minutes, and every 20 minutes we double check the forward motion on these to make sure they don't pick up speed as this kind of jet max comes in. Okay. Because the last thing I want to do is be tracking 45 and all of a sudden they've kicked up to 55 and we missed that opportunity. So there you'll note, tornado warning for you, Kilmichael 111. That's still a little more than 20 minutes away. So we'll be back to this. Kilmichael, one of the first spots in our area. Vaden, we show a 1255, a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning in an environment where additional tornado touchdowns are possible. Let's go ahead and take a wide shot here for a moment. Let's talk overview for a second. Okay, unfortunately, this is shaping up in some ways as we anticipated, with just an everything rotating situation. To this point, our strongest tornado I have seen was last night that moved through Grenada County in particular, near the Elliott area. These, though, are about to kind of start reaching their peak. It's 1247. Peak of all the different ingredients for this will be somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock. So we still have a little bit of time before we reach that peak. And so we're going to have to continue monitoring these. There's just so many of them that are continuing to rotate. Let's come up to our Lee County storm. Again, we have a highly populated area being impacted by this. I say that, and I want to just double check Monroe County one more time here, and I want to check Strong, because it has cleaner inflow. I think Strong, get you that track. I'm going to include Aberdeen in it. And I do want to check in with our Craig Ford, and I don't know if he is still up. Is he? Okay, let's go ahead and check in with him. He's up here near this storm around Shannon. I want to get some visuals up there. Craig, what are you seeing as of 12:48, 12:49 now?
Matt, I'm coming to you from Nettleton right now. I'm coming upon Highway 45. I'm trying to stay out of the way of the tornado that you mentioned that's been going through Chickasaw County. I know Shannon, Verona, Tupelo are in that tornado. Hopefully when I get up here shortly with a look on 45 here off of Will Robbins Highway, we'll have an idea. We are hearing the tornado sirens going. The rain is falling right now. Driving into Nettleton on Highway 6 from Amory, we saw some very intense lightning strikes. I've not seen that in the past 5 minutes or so. Rain is still pretty steady. We're coming upon Highway 45 right now, which honestly, hang on. I don't know if you could see anything, Matt. I don't know if that's anything. Take a look at that. Take a look.
Craig, okay. We're good
Yeah.
here at the TV station. Okay, if you can hear me, let's look at this. You are exactly at 45 and what, Craig? Oh, you're at
45
that 45
and
in
Will
Nettleton.
Robbins Highway. Yes.
Golly gee, Craig. You're at exactly the
Yep.
wrong spot. Right spot, wrong spot. Right side of the screen
Yep.
there. So, yeah, let's go. I'm not encouraging you to do something illegal, but, you know, don't hydroplane and get back out that direction a little bit, Craig.
Worry. Don't you worry.
I'm a dad. Worrying's what I do. Okay, because that is one of the. Let's go back to Storm Track Doppler radar. I don't know if we can double box this. You tell me in the back there if we can for a moment. That might not be something we can do. If we can leave Craig's audio up, I want him to be able to hear my voice while we're doing this. But I do also need to get back to radar here for a second while we're talking with him. And again, thankfully for Craig's sake, I don't think we necessarily for sure have a tornado on the ground, but certainly the spot I'm most concerned with, he's very close to. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, so Craig was driving right to there, going that way. Hopefully he gets far enough out and this is going that direction. That's going to be a really close call for Craig. Again, that's part of the reason why we try not to have people out during tornado warnings. It's easy to get turned around into the wrong spot, but Craig is very experienced and knows that road network there, goes on it every day. He knows every in and out to be able to get around that. So I know that he is navigating to safety at this moment. So hopefully he can continue to hear me at this time, just so that we can have instantaneous contact to make sure he's in good shape. But I would put my area of circulation over top of Nettleton right now. Again, tracking there toward road 1205. And again, Evergreen kind of in the path of this as well. Folks in Tupelo, this area of circulation is staying south of you, but it's directly over top of Nettleton right now. Even National Weather Service noting redeveloping circulation near Nettleton. I think what we saw a moment ago there was probably that circulation attempting to redevelop in front of him, and luckily we got him out of the way, I think, just in time. So Shiloh Church, we're looking at 1254. We have to be in those tornado safe places if you're ahead of this. I'm going to slide my map here. Nettleton, obviously, we've got to be in that tornado safe place right now. Fairly recently, this had been a confirmed tornado touchdown. I don't know that I can say I can confirm it at this exact moment, but it is certainly re-intensifying quickly. Can you hear me, Craig?
Yep, can still hear you.
Okay, where are you at now?
Heading back from Nettleton toward, I'm heading out of Nettleton, heading toward Amory.
Good. You're probably far enough east to be just outside the circulation. He's just on the east side of town there on Highway 6. So we should miss the circulation by about a mile, maybe 2 miles by this point here. Buddy, that was a close call. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I know you were mentioning that something brewing and strong in one other part of Monroe County. That's another. In addition to not wanting to be in a tornado here, I do want to be in position just in case anything pops on that side where it might come this way.
Appreciate that, Craig. So here's what I would do if I were you. So you're going to get out of town. You'll get just enough far enough east there on Highway 6 that it turns south, which I think what you're doing right now, where Highway 6 turns south out of Nettleton. Is internet doing what internet does in Monroe County? Okay. When he gets back, because I know you can talk to him, when he gets back, have him point his car west into the wind, so whatever this burst of wind is there kind of hits him on the front. He's not in a high-profile vehicle, so he'll be fine, but rather point him into the wind there, since it's designed to take on 60 or 65 mile per hour winds. So resetting here for a moment, we have a tornado warning in effect for Lee and Monroe and Itawamba counties. I believe Chickasaw County might still technically be in this, as well as I think parts of Pontotoc County. Both those locations we can come out of our tornado safe place. I would say the same thing, northern Monroe County from this tornado warning. In saying that, though, there are other areas of circulation that we have to continue to monitor in Monroe County, including, we mentioned that one down near the Strong community a little bit ago. Kind of wider shot here. There are these two circulations down here, two rotating storms. Let's not Let's classify them as they are. They're rotating storms. I don't know that I have circulations yet. Rotating storm comes first, circulation, tornado, damaging tornado. So right now we're rotating storms on this, so I make sure that I keep our priority list correct. And at this point, luckily, those still have a ways to go before they produce tornadoes. So coming back west here, checking our tornado warning that we have had back near the Vaden area. Man, that storm looks rough. That storm looks rough. We've got to get a storm track on this, as we might have a developing tornado up there toward Nettleton, as we were tracking a moment ago here. Near Vaden, though, 45 miles per hour, Kilmichael, Eupora, Poplar Creek, in the path of this possible tornado that's going to be moving into Montgomery County. I'm too precise for this. I'm going to do kind of a wider track on that whole kind of S area there as we go ahead, so I include Kilmichael and Eupora in this. Kilmichael 111, Stewart 120, Pelez 125, Tom Nolan 126. We're looking at Grady at 131, Eupora 135, and Walthall 138. This is Doppler radar indicated rotation that could potentially produce a tornado. It is a strong area of rotation. It has advanced, so I'm about to slice off some time for you, unfortunately. Kilmichael, we're now down 106 the time there. That's 10 minutes from now into Kilmichael, an area of rotation that could potentially be a tornado. So be in your tornado safe place as that moves in your direction. Of course, other strong and potentially very damaging tornadoes down in central and south Mississippi, as you can see. So unfortunately, tornado emergency, in fact, going on for one location down that direction. But as we come up here into Lee County, it is less obvious looking at this because we have just so much rainfall showing up on this. But up here closer to the Nettleton area, again, we had that spot that we were tracking that with Craig just a moment ago, where we had our area of circulation kind of wrapping around. Latest location on that, I'd show north of Nettleton. So I'd say Nettleton proper. Within the city limits there, main city grid of Nettleton, we could probably come out of that tornado safe place. If you give me 5 minutes, I'd feel a lot better than right this instant here. But we're pretty much past the worst of it. I would say closer to the Richmond community, where this is attempting to try to spin back up here near Road 1205. Moving toward Richmond and Evergreen. Doppler radar indicated area of rotation. And again, their sirens continue to go off in the Tupelo, Saltillo, Guntown, Baldwin area. Any of those locations I just mentioned. Verona, Shannon, you can come out of your tornado safe place. Tupelo, same situation here at the studio, we're fine. Back up towards Saltillo and Guntown, of course, also in good shape. Now, Morville, I still probably want to keep you in a tornado safe place. While this is kind of heading, again, more toward Richmond, Abney, and eventually Fulton, we sometimes get weird movements on these. So let's stay in that tornado safe place if we're in Morville. And I know officially in Fulton, you are not officially under the tornado warning for this yet. And no guarantee that they do extend this tornado warning, because I do have questions as to whether or not it is officially producing a tornado at this moment. Nonetheless, let's be today, if you don't mind, if it's not too much of an inconvenience, let's be in that tornado safe place just in case, because there might not always be a ton of time for me to just sit on a storm. We've got to kind of hop from storm to storm to storm a lot more. And if you have something, go ahead and, do you have anything, Wayne?
You told me to tell you when it's 20 minutes, it's been close to 30.
Okay, we are good now. So we are good here at the TV station. Thank you for double checking me on that. And we will try to pull up some power outages if we can here in a minute. Reports of power outages in Okolona. I'm sure a lot of other folks here reports of some power outages around the region due to these storms. They're very electric. I turned off all the lightning strikes just because there were just too many of them. They're incredibly electric, and that means that obviously they're hitting power lines, and appreciate all the power crews that work so hard to go out and put things back together after Mother Nature tears them apart on days like this. Let's check those two storms in southern Monroe County, and then we'll work our way back over to Kilmichael. We know that we're about to reach crunch time for Kilmichael, so we want to make sure that we catch this as best as we can for you. So looking at the wind mode here for these two storms, the one that is near Macondi and Una, awfully similar to what we had happen in Chickasaw County earlier. Gibson, Aberdeen, Wren, Amory. If this one were to spin up something, I don't know that it'll be right where it's at, but it'll probably be closer to 45, maybe between 45 and alternate and 45 there, closer to Gibson, if this were to take that next step. That one there has fairly clean inflow. You know what also we have going on? We got that northern storm there that was near McCondy. Hold on. Man, there's so much to watch here. Just a mess up here near Wren. That northern storm I would have probably bet on a few minutes ago, but luckily it's not. Boy, they're all... What's happening here? And this, dear God, hopefully keeps us from getting worse. Is, you know, if you throw one stone into a pond, it sends out that perfect ripple. If you get one, in this environment, one or two or three really, really big storms, and they soak all this up, they become very violent tornadoes. But if you have a ton of stones in there, the interference gets all weird between all the waves. That's what we have. We have a ton of stones in the water right now. And hopefully the atmosphere isn't able to handle that. But Gibson and Amory, I'm going to get you a track on this one here in case this one is one that is able to take that step. And so Gibson, I show 105 for you. Wren, 117. You do not have a tornado warning in Amory or Hatley or Carolina or Smithville. But this storm is in an environment where, depending on how it interacts with the Aberdeen storm, it could potentially try to produce a tornado similar to what happened up in Houston. We will see. I'll give you a track also on the Aberdeen storm. I'm going to track a similar track. I'm just going to drag it over, keep same times and everything. Aberdeen over top of you, 103, current time 102. I'm about to be 102. Becker at 113, Hatley 119, Smithville 128. Yeah, I know, you're in both those tracks for that storm on kind of the wider shot. The Gibson one is the one I'm a little more concerned with at the moment. And now we've got to go back to Kilmichael. Kilmichael about to be impacted by a long-lived rotating thunderstorm. The inflow isn't quite as clean as it was. That means the air getting into it, what's feeding it, the fuel. If I circle our area of circulation, it's pretty much right there near Vaden-Kilmichael Road on the west side of Kilmichael. Our moments are ticking down. We talked to you when you had 10 minutes to go. Now I put into town probably no more than about another minute and a half to 2 minutes. So hopefully we are in that tornado safe place if we live in Kilmichael. Again, defining what that is, that's the lowest floor of a sturdy structure, a small windowless room where we can wrap up in blankets and pillows, put on a helmet to protect ourselves from debris, and stay there till we can give you the all clear. This is US 82. Obviously Winona there. Kilmichael, that dot that for one reason or another not showing up below my track. But right there is the middle of Kilmichael. And we're now less than a minute before it arrives there. An area of circulation that could potentially be a tornado. And I do have some blues showing up on that. But due to how difficult it is to see on here, I do not say that I can confirm a tornado touchdown on this. But nonetheless, I still think it could potentially be producing a tornado. Confirmation's a nerd thing after the fact. There's no sort of preparatory value with confirmation. It does help me alert people down the road, but if your house is what confirms it, didn't do you much good, did it? So that's why, regardless of the confirmation or not, we need to be in that tornado safe place if you live in Kilmichael. And again, let's track this ahead toward Eupora. We'll look at that storm over Eupora here in a moment as well. So tracking that toward Eupora, Clarkston, Bellefontaine. Let's snap a picture of this ahead. This has been a storm that has had a number of tornado warnings on it. We have not had, thankfully, a whole lot of tornado reports coming from it, despite the fact it's had a number of warnings. But there are the times on your screen. Wallfall, 131 for you. Kilmichael, over you right now. Eupora, 129. So obviously, just doing quick math there, that's about 24, 25 minutes or so for you. Looking at Fame at 139, Cumberland at 145, Atlanta at about 150, Manatee at 152, and then there into Woodland at 154. Doppler radar indicated rotation that could potentially lead to the development of a tornado as that storm moves in. So luckily we cannot confirm debris on this at this instant, and storm spotters, to my knowledge, have not been able to confirm anything on it as well, and hopefully that continues to be the case. So Gabe, I'm going to trade you places here for just a moment, if we could, as we continue to track this. But clearly a lot of different things we're monitoring. I think we need to come back up to the Lee County storm and then go down to Chickasaw and Monroe County line.
Yeah, a very active system right now, and we know that tornado warning was confirmed when it was back in Chickasaw County. Currently, as we track that rotation on the western side of Itawamba County, moving right there towards Fulton, taking a look at that latest path, and I will have to do an updated look at that storm track to see the speed of that storm. But as we extend that out, moving through Fulton, Fairview School, and then on into Red Bay, here's a look at some times. Go ahead and take a picture. Let folks in Itawamba County know that this is headed their way. Abney, 107. Dorsey, 109. Fulton, close to about 115. We're talking about 10 minutes from now. Halltown, 147. Tishomingo State Park, 150. And then on into Bishop, closer to 157. So several minutes from now. And is this producing a tornado right now? No, but it's not far from it, being that that rotation is still relatively strong. Let's go ahead and turn south and look more at the Monroe County storms. We're seeing that high volume of lightning right along that Becker area, and that's where that rotation currently sits as it's moving in that northeast direction. So we put a path on that, moving more towards Parham. Should stay just south of Smithville. We're going to see Becker 107, Hatley 113, Parham 120, Turon by 127, and Bexar closer to 142. Now I want to look overall and just make sure that we are not having a tornado confirmed as of this moment. And currently what it's trying to do is wrap around. So we talk about that inflow channel, and it's not doing so just yet in Amory, but it will not take much to wrap around that tail, and then you're going to get that rotation stronger than what it was. Even back here in New Wren, you take a look, a large mature cell, all it needs is that wraparound moisture to happen, and so far staying void of that, but we are not far from that happening. On the leading edge, I mean, despite it not having necessarily a tornado warning on that southern part of Monroe County, we are seeing strong wind gusts as well. Looking at some of those brighter totals, 54 miles an hour. Even on the western side of Smithville, we're seeing 53. So we are just below those severe limits. And give me 1 second to turn that off. And I'm going to ask John, if John, on 2, can you get a speed on these storms real quick? Just an updated look, and let's go on that one that's entering into Fulton County, just so we can have an updated look. So overall, what we have is 2 tornado warnings that we're tracking, but multiple couplets that have the potential for tornadoes. The one in Itawamba County, and also one back there towards Montgomery County. Now currently it's moving more towards Webster County as we speak, and a large volume of lightning right along that same spot, but we're not getting any confirmed debris. As I put my finger there and we line up that correlation coefficient with it, no debris signature to confirm that as of now, but still a very mature cell that has had a warning for miles and miles. Extending that into Webster County through Manatee. Let me turn this off real quick. We're going to see it reach Clarkson, 139, Atlanta, 147, Manatee, we talked about you, 149, Houston, closer to 202, and then on into Parkersburg by about 209. So we are going to see that continue to move through, and that rotation is still strong. Fortunately, not seeing a tornado as of right now. I want to look at the large scale, what we're seeing across the region, and fortunately, nothing confirmed as of right now. I do want to say that storm just south of Abney, moving into Abney as we speak, is starting to get that notch. And what we mean is that inflow channel. So you see how it goes in that S shape almost, moving out towards Abney and then around the city. That's where I do want to take a look and see. No debris as of right now, but that is a very mature rotation. Taking a look at the last couple of scans, just how that has progressed. You see how it's more linear right along Evergreen and Caroline? Well, then watch as it enters towards Abney, seeing that re-strengthen. So would not be surprised as this polygon is about to move out of that tornado warned polygon, moving more towards Fulton. I would get to your safe place right now, Fulton, as we are tracking that tornadic development and that recirculation within the cell. I mean, that is moments away from producing another tornado warned storm.
I got 55 to 60 on here.
55 to 60, okay, so it has sped up from what we've seen before. So I'm going to take this track off, adjust this here real quick, and move this up to, you said 55? Let's go ahead and go 60, just so we are on the safe side and get you guys as much lead time as possible. Moving towards Fulton and Fairview School. We're talking about Fulton 115. That is 6 minutes away. You guys need to go to your safe place right now. I know you're not in the warning just yet, but this circulation is re-strengthening right along that southern side, just moving more towards Abney. Abney, if you're not in your safe place, go there now, as we are tracking this storm moving more towards you guys. Whenever we look at a debris signature, so far staying void of that, thankfully. And as of right now, I don't have any reports in the National Weather Service chat of any confirmation of it. Fortunate so far. but I'm just waiting on that to be extended because that is still a defined notch that is moments away from producing. Abney, safe place as we speak. If you live along 22 in the Fulton area, go ahead and get to your safe place. I know it's a very busy area. We got Itawamba Community College on the north side. Go ahead, students heading back from spring break. If you are back at school, let's go ahead and get to that safe place. It's important that we go ahead and prepare because, as we talked about, doing one more storm track, I mean, we are 5 minutes away now from reaching the downtown Fulton area, probably about 1:16 reaching ICC. So let's go ahead and look at the grand scheme of things and make sure those southern Monroe County storms are not producing as of now. And it is going to be moving right over the radar site. So it is tough to see, as you can see, that interaction with the Monroe County radar site. So it's going to be tougher to see, but we still have a notch of rotation. Doing a storm track on that, going to keep that 60-mile-an-hour path, moving more towards Parham, and then on into the rest of Monroe County. Parham 117, Detroit 126. And I want to go back just because this is the one of the most concern as of right now. Right over Abney as we speak, putting a circle on that rotation. I mean, there it is. There's the rotation that we're tracking and pulling up a debris signature with that. I don't have enough to confirm, and Matt getting a second eye on that. We do have the notch happening right there with that.
I don't think I can confirm either, but
It's enough to say get to your safe place now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even in kind of the flash there, you can still kind of pick it out. Here, I'll trade you place for a moment there. So yeah, Gabe nailed that one. That is one way or another trying to redevelop here near Abney, just south of I-22, northeast of Richmond at this point. So this is Doppler radar indicated rotation, and in Fulton we need to be in that tornado safe place. This is no more than about a mile or two south, well, I mean technically west, but on the south side there of I-22 near the Fulton area, moving toward Fulton. And we can confirm that this did produce at least some damage in Chickasaw County. According to Chickasaw County Emergency Manager Linda Griffin, several trees along the Natchez Trace near Highway 32 exit, several trees down there in that area, and a hydroplaning accident along Highway 332 as well. The thing that we don't want to miss, and we talked about off the top, and I said it might be weird, we were talking about that in this situation, but the thing we talked about out of the top was how there's a significant flash flooding issue, reports of knee-deep water in some portions of Calhoun County. I'll have to double check that location here in a minute. I believe that's Calhoun County Road, that'd be Highway 331 near the Calhoun County line. Reports of knee-deep water there, units on the scene, please avoid the area. So just very, very heavy rainfall out of these thunderstorms as well. And a flooding potential, and believe it or not, flooding kills more people every year than tornadoes. Why? Because you don't take flooding seriously. You take the wind from a tornado seriously. But Fulton, that is what we're exactly hoping right now, that you're taking this seriously. I put it very near I-22. I'm going to see if we can pull up one of those cameras in Fulton to get a shot of this. Let me see here. Yeah, if you've got it, then let's pull it up. If you have it up back there. Okay. It's on 3. Let's take it on 3 real quick then. So this is going to be Fulton. That's looking west. So you can see those winds out of the south. All of these are inbound, kind of wrapping back around. They're going to head to the north and try to wrap back around this storm. So I'm going to keep that up in a small fashion here for everything we're doing with Fulton. I know it's going to cover up some of our city names there, and I have to try to kind of jostle around a bunch of different things on the screen. But I think it's worthwhile to keep a shot looking west out of this there, as those winds are definitely jostling around that camera. Also, to mention that whether this is exactly a tornado or not, this is probably still some damaging winds going to kind of swing there through Beans Ferry and Fulton. This is Mississippi Highway 25 toward Fulton, but there's our circulation, the arrow pointing right at it. You'll also note at the top there, it says until 1:15. National Weather Service has extended a severe thunderstorm warning with the designation tornado possible ahead of this there to encompass this. So here in about 30 seconds or so, technically the tornado warning will go away on this, but I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't feel any more comfortable than I did 5 minutes ago in Fulton. Whatever this is, tornado, damaging winds, it's about to move into town. It's crossing I-22 west of the river, rest of the waterway at this instant, moving into town as we speak, actually probably over top of the river, the old river there. Lightning starting to pick up on this as well near Peppertown. I show my circulation actually right at the Peppertown exit there. So again, moving toward Fulton, circulation. And as you can see, that tornado warning has now popped off of the screen there, replaced instead by a severe thunderstorm warning with the designation rotation detected. So let's get a slightly longer track on that. I'm going to leave that camera up even though we're going to go to a completely different storm here in a moment just so I can kind of see as it moves in while I'm saying that. This is what it looks like as it's hitting. Look at the blinding rainfall. So takeaway number one, you're not going to see it coming. If this is a tornado, it's probably going to be wrapped up in rain. As you can see also, I think we've seen a shift in the wind direction now inbound toward the camera. And have we lost the camera there? Go and let's pull up the one we have behind the scenes here real quick as well. So that would be looking northward as I'm getting my clear call for weather call, my personal one. Yeah, you can see the wind more from left to right on this. Same location we looked at a second ago, left to right. So we're now probably in outflow wind as opposed to inflow wind. So whatever this is, if the circulation is moving through there, it's probably north of this location. This is I-22. And come back to my camera here for a second. Really definitely jostling that around. So the winds are trying to wrap back and into it. So whatever circulation is, it's north of 22 now at this point. I'm going to leave that up in a small fashion there. Hold on a moment, see if I can get it up just the right size. There we go. Moving into Fulton. So again, that's where that camera location is there. And so we were seeing those winds, the red winds like this coming that direction. Now we're wrapping around. So again, that's a reminder that this is at least a few moments old. Any radar imagery is at least a few moments old. Whatever circulation this is probably over top of downtown Fulton now, moving there kind of on the north to northeast side of town. So let's get a storm track on this, and we've got to get down to Chickasaw County. So storm track on this, again, based on it being over downtown Fulton. Here's what's in the road ahead. Of course, Fulton right now, we're looking down there toward East High School area about 118, Eastman at 131, and eventually Mount Carmel Church by 137. Over top of Fulton where that is at this moment. We got to get to Chickasaw County as we're watching some of those storms there. And it does look like, again, two areas of circulation of concern here. Of course, we still have the ongoing one moving into Webster County. And then, Gabe, I'm guessing you're looking at northern Chickasaw County on this? Yes. Okay, let's bring up Gabe's mic here for a moment, if we could. Yeah, there are a couple spots here with circulations. Go Gabe.
Yeah, it was two couplets of rotation that we were tracking. What it looks like is happening is it was a cell merger that ended up producing it's looking more like the Holka area. It was looking more Houston for a second, but now it's transitioned more for the concern being Holka, that rotation tightening around Davis Lake, south of Holka, and we're seeing it right there. I mean, you're seeing bright returns out of those inflow, outflow, and that's moving in that northeast direction. You're going to see it across Highway 15, Highway 32, moving north more into Pontotoc and maybe even western Lee County if it continues.
Okay, that's our meteorologist Gabe Maynard continuing to track that storm. We've got to hop south on a different one that's prompted a tornado. The western portion of Webster County. It's been a little while since we've been back on this storm. The storm has gone through a serious change in its overall shape from where it was more of a classic supercell kind of wrapped back up. I mean, I'm looking at my circulation kind of almost more on the backside there. Still a strong storm, still potentially wind damage on it, and definitely a lot of heavy rainfalls. Let's look at the wind on this. I do not depict a well-defined tornado circulation on it, thankfully. That's part of the reason why we've been on different thunderstorms, but as we kind of track this ahead toward Atlanta, Hohenlinden there, Embry, all in the path of this as it moves toward the northeast. Speed on this, we're going about 45 miles per hour as it kind of moves in that direction. We're looking Embry at 124, looking at Anchor at 147, and Houston, if it holds together, at 151. I know we've already had one over top of Houston. This could be the next one. Before we get too far along, this video coming from Calhoun County Sheriff Greg Paulin. We mentioned that flooding along 331. There is a significant flooding issue that we do have with these thunderstorms today. Unfortunately, that is a secondary threat. They mentioned knee-deep water. This is what has closed 331 in that area there. Just copious amounts of rainfall coming from these storms this evening and this afternoon. And so we appreciate all of your pictures. Obviously, we encourage you to stay in a safe place as long as possible. Wide shot here Just double checking. Most storms south of our area have some time before they need to mature. Same with the storm back toward Greenwood. Kilmichael storm, we're watching Houston. And then we're up here. Okay, let's go in here to Amory real quick. And so, as we're looking closer to Amory, we have actually those two areas of circulation. We talked about these earlier. Yes.
It's on 3.
It's on 3? Okay, go ahead and we'll pull this up on 3. Go for it.
Well, so that's the Amory Tower Cam, and that's that large storm that's moving in there right now. There was what looked to be a funnel-like thing coming from the sky. I can't confirm that it was necessarily a tornado, but you see that large rain shaft right there in the middle of where those heaviest storms are coming through. I mean, that's just, it's concerning.
I appreciate North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters and all their partners for putting up this camera. That nonprofit has done a lot for our safety in the last year, and I appreciate that. I'm watching this here for a moment. We're watching kind of the rotation. I don't know for sure that I have a true funnel cloud. We're watching there. There's a couple real ragged spots on that system trying. This is likely precipitation largely there, and it's possible. I mean, we're all looking at the same spot there. That could end up spinning something up. I'm going to do the minimized version of this for a second so we get some storm tracks on this as they're kind of moving the camera back and forth to get a good idea on what they're seeing. Let's look at this for Amory, which is now under a tornado warning because of this as they are looking north on this. New tornado warning issued again for the potential that this could be up there near Bigby. So that camera's on the south side of town looking over top of Amory, looking northward toward the Bigby area in that rotation. Well, I say that. There's another area just to the east of town as well. We talked about those two storms and how they would try to mature. That's why we mentioned Amory. We had you in the track a little bit ago. Looking at the wind mode there on Storm Track Doppler radar, it's close, but I don't know that I can for sure say that these are producing a tornado at this moment. Let's get the new track based on Bigby and get the angle on this right. Smithville, you're going to be in the path. Parts of Smithville in each case. So I'm going to track the Parham one first toward Bexar. I'd say south side of Smithville, we're there right now. So we need to be in that tornado safe place. Lowest floor of a sturdy structure, I can't put that on there and keep the camera at the same time. You know the rules. Lowest floor of a sturdy structure, a small windowless room we can wrap up in blankets and pillows, put on a helmet to protect ourselves from debris and stay there until we can give you the all clear. This is wrapping up near Parham right now and could potentially be producing a tornado soon, if not already. As you can see, confirmed tornado touchdown, the designation from the folks at the National Weather Service, and I think that might be the one that they're doing it on. I got to track the other one that's heading more directly towards Smithville on the north side of Amory there, looking toward that on the camera that you see from the North Mississippi Storm Chasers and Spotters on the right-hand portion of your screen. A lot of data here. Look at the times. Take the picture for the times there. Current time is 1:22, so we still do have a few minutes there into Smithville. Let's look for that tornado debris signature here that we can confirm. And let's double check, if we can, the warning text on this, to double check the confirmation method, if we can, to see if they have detected that tornado debris. Well, that might be what it is. Hold on.
Weather spotters confirmed tornado.
Weather spotters confirmed tornado? Okay, so spotter confirmed tornado here. I cannot confirm it with tornado debris at this moment, but again, that doesn't happen until after the fact. And just to clarify, are we talking the one east of Smithville? Or are we talking the one north of Amory?
I would have to check, but I believe this is the one we're talking about with Amory. And they sent a picture up in National Weather Service chat of the funnel that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're able to get that.
I'll have to see here. The Chasers did?
Yes, I'll just have to I'll send a message and see if we can use it, and I'll send it up, and you can pull it up on.
Okay.
So give me 1 second.
We'll keep that camera up, and I do see, I mean, listen, I do see some things look a little bit like a funnel there. Main area we're watching is kind of this middle area there, and it's not impossible we don't have something right there on that storm north of the Amory area. So an area of circulation attempting to produce a tornado right now near the Amory area need to be in our tornado safe place because of that potential. I would say this though, I feel very confident on this one up here near Turon that if this isn't producing a tornado, it will be very soon. I know this isn't a highly populated area, but near State Line Road, northeast of the Smithville area. This is likely a tornado in the generation phase or one that is presently occurring, moving there from Turon toward Bexar. Kennedy Chapel we show at 131 for you. Doppler radar indicated rotation that could potentially be a tornado in the development phase is Piney Grove. We're looking at 131. We're looking at James Creek Church at 136. Elvis Spearman Church at 139. Smith Temple Church at about the 140 time period, in Bexar at 141. Doppler radar showing a pretty strong hook there continuing to develop, rotation continuing to increase, potential for this to produce a tornado increasing as well. And then of course, if we have two storms that are basically on top of each other, the one we have here closer to Bigby, the one that you're looking at there on the screen, I believe. Let's double check with the chasers that that is the correct one, that have the correct direction there. And I'm wondering if that has locked up on me.
I just sent it up, the picture.
It does look like we are hanging at this moment here, unfortunately. Power disruptions are something that we anticipate in this scenario. Unfortunately, looks like might be an issue. Here is a shot that Gabe was mentioning a moment ago there of that brief funnel that was caught on that tower cam there in Amory by the North Mississippi Storm Chasers just a little bit ago. Again, the screenshot of it, not the actual motion video of it. Not particularly strong. Certainly you had uplift into there, but it could be stronger than what visually it looks like. Sometimes that happens. So certainly having to watch that pretty closely. Man, I'll be honest. Let's look closely at this. While I can't quite confirm tornado debris on this, I have two storms here that are very close to producing tornadoes. That one's curled all the way up on the Itawamba and Monroe County line, and then this one's in the process of curving up. Watching very closely in Smithville. We've got to be in that tornado safe place, and I know we don't have to tell you twice. The wind, the reason I'm just pretty concerned in both cases, the front storm has clean inflow to be able to get the wind to kind of wrap back in, and this has just enough of a window to do the same thing here. So both of those areas of circulation wants to track. And then we're going to need to double check on some other storms as well. Latest updated scan coming around, so it's adjusted the position a little bit more. I don't know that I can quite confirm tornado touchdown at this point, but again, that's something that helps us after the fact, not at the time. So let's widen things out. Let's clear things up for just a moment. Let's double check at what we're seeing here. Let's looking at Itawamba County, northern Itawamba County. We're tracking that rotation that moved through Houston earlier. That looks like it has fallen apart as we've seen a preference for the storms down in the southern part of the county. So we come back here toward Houston at the next storm, the most recent storm to come through. That one there has some broader rotation as well. I want to bring in our meteorologist, Gabe Maynard, with a little new information coming in here at this time. Gabe, what are you getting?
Well, so we were talking to the Chickasaw County EMA director, and if you want to talk to her specifically, basically they're shutting down the Natchez Trace where that storm hit. We're going to go back to Matt so he can talk to her about that.
Okay, so with me is Linda Griffin. She is the emergency manager there in Chickasaw County. I know it's been a busy day so far, a long night last night. What do you have as of 1:28 here on live on WTVA 9 News? Linda, are you there? Hold on a second. You are on her AirPods. There we go. Okay, can you hear me now, Linda?
Hold on, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay, better now?
I'm just in a bad spot, I think.
That's okay. You go ahead. We'll listen to what you have to say. What do you got?
We are shutting down the Natchez Trace Parkway in Chickasaw County. We've gotten all the patients taken care of that was in wrecks on it. We got trees down everywhere on the trace. And we got this other system you say coming towards us. We're pulling our responders back to a safe place and getting them off the Natchez Trace. And the Natchez Trace is closed in Chickasaw County.
Natchez Trace closed in Chickasaw County. Just for my clarification, because this one over top of Houston's getting a little stronger as we speak. So I want to make sure I get you what you need to know at this moment. So where are you at?
I'm on Highway 32 at the game area, headed back towards Houston.
Okay, so this is going to...
There's no doubt. I'll send you a picture that there was a tornado on the Natchez Trace because all the trees are twisted.
I believe it. I mean, it looked like it on radar.
Yeah, I'll send you the GPS coordinates.
Okay, yeah, send that over to Tanya. I appreciate that. But heads up that this one that's over top of you is strengthening and it has fairly clean inflow. So I mean, let me double check your angle there because you're just far enough north. Uh,
Chickasaw now and not going to be the 2 o'clock time frame we was thinking.
well, I mean, this is one of those days. There's just more and more,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But yeah, no, I'm talking the one that's right over Houston right now. I think if you're heading west on, I mean, you're going through some blinding rainfall, but you're heading west on 32. You should stay a little north of it.
Heavy rain.
Okay. Be careful, be safe. We appreciate all your hard work. We'll talk to you soon.
Sir, get the word out, though. We ain't had any structure damage reported. Just MVAs, people that was on the Natchez Trace and on Highway 32 at that Van Vliet area that you was talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just hitting trees. And trees. Did trees come down on any of the vehicles, or did it just end up hitting the trees?
We didn't have any injuries, thank goodness, but there's trees down all in Chickasaw County on that Natchez Trace. So we're getting the traffic off of it that's coming through, and you've got it. Officers blocking the exits so they can't get on.
Okay. Linda Griffin, Emergency Manager at Chickasaw County. Thank you so much for speaking with us on WTVA 9 News.
Yes, sir, and I'll send you some pictures and GPS.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yes, sir.
So as you heard her say, Natchez Trace shut down there in Chickasaw County where a likely tornado crossed earlier on. Again, National Weather Service will go out and do official storm reports and damage surveys in the future. But in the nearer term, still watching these 2 areas of circulation here, now likely in southern Itawamba County. Gabe?
Amory's back up.
Amory's back up, so we'll go ahead and pull that back up here on the side for a moment. Again, looking back toward what I cannot confirm a tornado touchdown based on that there, but you can see our wall cloud, the lowering there. This is where everything's going up and into the thunderstorm. And as I shrink this down, I might bring it back full here in just a moment, shrink that down, that's where you're seeing this area here, this kind of open areas where things are going up and into the thunderstorm there, right? And so you're kind of seeing that lowering there where things are going up, and that's where the rotation is. And if the rotation get more active, it'll take that back around. I would say that definitely what you're hanging down there, not a funnel cloud just because it looks like it's kind of hanging low. Instead, that is the area where things are trying to go up and into it. Hope that makes sense. Either way, cannot confirm tornado at the moment. We're going to leave that up while we're on this storm here. South of Tremont and Academy, though, this one looks, again, more impressive, and I would say that it is not unreasonable that I have a tornado in the generation phase here near Hopewell Road. Nope. That same spot we were watching, we probably have had it the last few minutes while we're talking to Linda. Up here, Duncan Lakes Road. Let's double check the debris mode. It doesn't line up perfectly, but I don't think it matters because I think right there near Turon, we've probably had at least a brief tornado still potentially ongoing now near Booth Road, South Academy, moving toward the Mississippi-Alabama state line. Again, 2 different storms I'm watching here. This is the western storm there. This is the eastern circulation. Unfortunately, we're having to multitask. I don't know about you. When it comes to multitasking, you're never as good as you would if you were just on one thing. So now they're going to be issuing a tornado warning on that storm I was talking to Linda about there in Chickasaw County. And as those storm chasers are zooming in on the bottom of that wall cloud, we're going to multitask again. So luckily Linda's up here. She's in that tornado warning, but she's going to hopefully get around that there. But near Aberdeen Road on the east side there of Houston, we have yet another tornado warning that's been prompted. That same storm that we were tracking a moment ago there, what we're looking at. Again, this is a different storm that we're watching near Amory. This is Chickasaw County, and let's get that Chickasaw County storm track. Let's put on our tornado safety rules. With that, keep an eye on that camera there. Let me know if it gets a little more organized. But for eastern Chickasaw County, moving toward Okolona, Doppler radar indicated rotation. Okolona, we show 148. Leotis at 151. Current time is 1:33. Still going about 45 miles per hour. We're going to do a different track that kind of puts on everything we can. And while I mentioned Chickasaw County, it actually, I believe, is also Lee, Pontotoc, and Monroe counties with this tornado warning as well. That means multiple tornado warnings now in effect for Monroe County on this storm. Certainly strong circulation. And when we talked about that high tornado risk yesterday, and even this morning, we mentioned the fact, the reason we were under that, 2 reasons. Number 1, potential for strong, long-lived tornadoes. To this point, I'm not even going to say it. Anyway, let's move on. The main reason why that is issued is because of the opportunity, the fact that some spots we're going to see multiple rotating thunderstorms go over them over the course of time. That is what we are seeing in Chickasaw County, Monroe County at this point. Unfortunately, the superhighway of supercell thunderstorms today. And so I'm going to advance this forward. Near Aberdeen Road, pretty much right over top of the Natchez Trace, a little south of where we had that tornado, likely tornado moved through a little bit ago is where this is. Witch Dance picnic area, that's one of those areas, well, that was hit in 2011 by the tornado there, pretty severely, very near that area. So 135, current time 135, so it's over top of that now. Palestine Ministry Baptist Church at 141. Again, Bethany Church at 147. We're looking at Okolona at 151. We'll look a lot closer at that here in just a second because that's a little less than 15 minutes for you on our next major population center in Leotis at about 155. Doppler radar indicated rotation, a storm that is intensifying, a storm that has clean inflow. You heard me say that to Linda. What does that mean and why does it matter? Well, these thunderstorms up here, still very much ones we have to watch and could still be producing a tornado near the Mississippi-Alabama state line. But this one here, you see how there's nothing down here ahead of it for about a county? That means relatively warm, moist, unstable air is able to feed directly into this. Those storms with the cleanest inflow, it's kind of like shooting it up with steroids or something else. It makes them stronger. And that is what the potential is, that this could continue to become stronger. We got to come up here to our Itawamba County tornado warning. First off, Smithville, you're all clear. Amory, you're all clear. We'll pull up that camera as we look at the south side of that storm there still. I believe on camera 3, on weather 3. Yeah, they've gone to a wider shot. It's gotten too far away. Don't have a good shot at that anymore. We're looking quite a ways away from that to get that look there. So if you're in Monroe County from this storm, you're in the all clear. Of course, the next storm that's now has those tornado sirens going off in Lee County, that one is clipping the northwest corner of Monroe County. But I would say from the most recent one, Amory, Parham, Smithville, we can all come out of those tornado safe places if you want to. You can stay in them if you want to. But at this point here, we cannot let our guard down as soon as any of these storms pass, because the reality is that depending on the angle this Houston storm takes, it could be coming back here again, the next one for you as well. Still possible this goes more east. So a lot of times you have your one storm and you're done. Today, that's not the case. You have your one storm, and then you have your next, and you have your next. And so that is going to continue, as we talked about earlier, to cause major flooding issues and obviously a little bit of storm fatigue. Let's come up here close into Itawamba County, and let's look here, I would say south of I-22 near State Line Road Southeast, about to cross into Marion County, Alabama, an area of rotation that I don't know that I can say is a tornado at this point. Potentially was previously, could potentially redevelop into one that we should shelter from either way, because Doppler radar is at least minutes old, because it has to scan it, process it, and send it to us. And that takes, got it really fast, got it down to an art, but it takes moments to do that. And so Bexar, obviously in the nearer term path of this rotation at this point, as it's moving toward you. Let's come back to Chickasaw County. And then I need you, hold on, 2 seconds. Got to hit Winona before we go to Chickasaw County. It's been a while since we've been back on this one. I'm going to track this part near Sawyer. Again, we're looking fairly high up in the thunderstorm, so I've got to circle a larger area there near Sawyer and Eskridge. This is an area of fairly broad rotation, but strong rotation, and we just look too high to have a good angle on it. So let's make sure we're in that tornado safe place if you do live there near Eskridge. If you live here on the north side of Winona in general, we should be in a safer place if we can be. Creek Center Sky School at about 153, Lilac 156, Alva 159, Reading at 203. Doppler radar indicated area of rotation that could potentially be a tornado attempting to develop. We will see. According to the folks at Lee County E911, motorists are stranded in floodwaters on South Gloucester Street in Tupelo. That is not a shock. These thunderstorms are incredible rain producers, most of them what we call high precipitation supercells, or HP supercells. And and they're rotating and they're trying to produce their tornadoes, but they're producing tons of lightning and dumping massive amounts of rainfall. So we have a very rare situation where we have both a flash flood, major flash flood threat, and a significant opportunity for tornado threat at the same time. So each of those has their different challenges. Both of them, I would definitely say we probably want to be avoiding certain unsafe places, and cars and trucks in both cases would be places that we don't want to be. You could argue upper floors are different, but let's not get into that argument there for the flooding portion of this. So looking at the wind mode and changing it from the rainfall mode on Storm Track Doppler radar, I do not see quite the same interaction. Oh, we probably, hold on, 1:30. While we were wide, we probably had a brief tornado there. Yeah, I cannot confirm the debris on that. Near Highway 15. I hope Linda was okay. Right there, 128. 130. Yeah, potentially, whatever that is, likely has dissipated on the latest scan. But we might have had a brief tornado kind of on the north side there as well. Y'all pray for the first responders out there that are out in this, because they are putting their lives at risk to try to take care of folks that, in this case, as they mentioned, along the Natchez Trace Parkway, ran into, had trees fall on them when the tornado moved through there. The problem is that, then as soon as that moves through, there's another storm after that. And then there are other storms after that, and other storms after that. And so it's just, unfortunately, going to be a long afternoon for those folks. Current time is 1:41 p.m. Let's do a wide shot here. Let's kind of do an overview for a second on where we're at and what we expect to continue to happen as we go forward. I'm Chief